Hey there, friend. Now, imagine this. You're at work absolutely crushing it. You're grinding, hustling, doing all the things LinkedIn says you should do. But somehow, the guy who spends half his time helping others, writing recommendations, mentoring interns, and remembering birthdays, gets promoted before you do. And meanwhile, you're still waiting for Susan from finance to approve your expense report. Susan! So, what's the deal? Is being generous the secret to success, or is it a fast track to being the office doormat? Well, one of my all-time favorites from Adam Grant has the answer in his book, Give and Take, which flips everything we think we know about success on its head, especially about being Mr. Nice Guy. And today, I'm gonna break it down for you. Let's talk about structure, substance, style, and suitability. First, structure. Grant divides people into 3 categories. 1, givers, the overly generous saints who would probably give up their last slice of pizza. Number 2, takers. These are the ones who will steal your stapler and gaslight you into believing you never even had one. And number 3, matchers. The human calculators who keep mental score of every favor they do for you in a very tactful way. Then the book unpacks into how do you spot takers before they suck you dry? Number 2, how to be a giver without becoming a nice guy who finishes last. And then number 3, why givers actually dominate the top and the bottom of the success ladder. It's structured like a playbook for being strategically generous, so you don't end up working late while your taker boss leaves for a networking event. Substance. Here are the 3 big ideas I took away. Number 1, giving can make you incredibly successful or totally broke. Now, givers aren't just at the top of the ladder, they're also at the bottom. Why? Because not all giving is created equal, right? Smart givers help in ways that create value, but don't leave them exhausted. Now that's very key here. Now, not so clever givers get just trampled on. So pro tip, don't be one of these. Number 2, the world is a battleground of givers, takers, and matchers. So did you ever wonder why your helpful coworkers thrive while the other helpful coworkers are constantly just drowning in work? Boundaries, my friend, right? The best givers know when to just say no. And the worst ones, well, they say yes to everything and eventually burn out harder than my Wi-Fi during a Zoom call, which always happens at the weirdest moments. Number 3, powerless communication is actually powerful. So we're talking being too aggressive can really backfire. So while being too passive makes you just invisible. So Grant introduces the idea of powerless communication, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but it's actually about influencing people by listening, asking good questions, and just not talking like a used car salesman. Style check. This book is like a TED Talk, but one of those good ones. It's engaging, it's packed with studies, and there's no awkward pauses where the speaker just looks meaningfully into the audience's soul. It's conversational, but backed by research. Lots of studies, anecdotes, and examples that make you go, wait, this does explain why my manager takes credit for my work. The guy loves his data, and at times it feels like he has too much of it, but if you ever wanted science to justify being nice at work, this is your Bible. Finally, suitability. Is this book for you? Let's break it down. Who's it good for? Young professionals trying to navigate office politics without being that corporate robot, right? Leaders who want to build a high-performing team that just isn't about for themselves, right? And then people who genuinely just like helping others but don't want to get walked all over like a hotel welcome mat. Now, who might not love this? Those hardcore Wolf of Wall Street types who think kindness is a weakness. Next, anyone who believes networking is just collecting LinkedIn connections and then just going dark. And lastly, people who just get bored by studies and want more storytelling. Although Grant does a pretty decent job of balancing both. Other books that may perfectly complement Give and Take I recommend are 1, To Sell is Human. And this one teaches you that we're just all salespeople, even if our job title says otherwise. Number 2, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. And that's because knowing how to persuade people is just a good life skill. And it might actually help get your roommate to finally clean up their dishes. And number 3, The Go-Giver. So if Give and Take was just too academic for you, this book really simplifies the giving mindset with an easy to digest fable. So does Give and Take live up to the hype? Yeah, one of my all-time faves. It's got enough research to convince even the most skeptical hustle culture bro that success isn't just about outworking everyone. It's about giving. Strategically, of course. If you're tired of watching self-centered people climb the corporate ladder while you do all the heavy lifting, this book is for you. Drop a comment below. Are you a giver? A taker? A matcher? No judgment at all. Unless you're a taker. Kidding. Also, hit that like and subscribe button and share this with your work buddy who thinks being cutthroat is the only way to get ahead. This has been a brief book club book review. I'll catch you in the next one.